I had this experience in college. I wrote about it in my first book, The Psychology of Money. I was a valet at a 5-star hotel in Los Angeles.
I love this story.
It was so much fun. It was such a cool job. There's never been a better job. I would go back and do that job again. It was
Why
so
did
much
you
fun.
love that job so much?
There's two things. I got to drive very fancy cars, and in the mind of a 19-year-old boy parking a Ferrari, there's nothing better in the world. And two, I didn't really realize this explicitly at the time, but it was my first window into the psychology of very wealthy people. And that to me was absolutely, I learned so much during those years, age, 18 to 22. And one of the things I realized, and I remember when this hit me during a shift, that if somebody came into the hotel driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, I would stop and look at the car and be impressed. But I would never look at the driver and say, that guy's so cool. What I would do is I would imagine myself as the driver. And I imagined that if I was driving, people would look at me and say, look at Morgan, he's so cool. And one day I was like, do you see the irony? I don't care about the driver, but I want to be the driver because I think people will care about me. And it was this stark realization of like, nobody is thinking about you as much as you are. They're busy thinking about themselves. And even when people are impressed with your house or your car, what they're actually doing is saying, if I had Mel's house, if I had Morgan's car, then I would be happy. Then people would look at me. And so the idea that everyone is pretty selfish and self-centered in that sense, where they're not impressed with you. They might be impressed with your stuff because they're imagining having your stuff. Once I came to terms with that, my desire for impressing other people plunged. Didn't plunge to zero. I don't want to walk around in a burlap sack. I want to impress my coworkers and I want to look professional. I want to, back then when I was trying to find a girlfriend who became my wife, then it was very important. But the idea that no one's thinking about you as much as you are will collapse your aspirations in a wonderful way. And it will get you towards contentment much quicker than anything else.
That is such a mind-blowing realization, because if we're all chasing all this stuff on the outside so that people look at the stuff that we have and then think we're amazing.
Yeah.
You're proving in that simple example, that's not how the human brain works at all. They think the stuff is cool. They don't think you are.
Everything being a competition for resources. It's rarely saying being impressed with other people. Not never. And I think it's the same with your spouse, your partner. My wife does not care at all what kind of car I drive. She doesn't care about what new jeans I bought. She couldn't care. What she cares about is, am I a good dad? Am I a good spouse? Am I a good friend? Am I patient and understanding and helpful? That's it. And I think you can extend that analogy to anything else in your life. Your friends, your coworkers, your relationship with your children. We spend so much time saying, if only I had nicer things, bigger things, better things, then that would be better. What matters, and people know intuitively that this matters, is that you are a good spouse, a good friend, a good parent. If you do want strangers to be impressed with you, they're not going to be impressed with your car. They will be impressed with how kind and caring and helpful you are to them. Now, that's easier said than done too, because I think the overwhelming urge is, yeah, Morgan, like I might believe what you're saying, but I still think this car would make me happy. Like, it's such a powerful thing that we have that it's not something that you can just get over immediately. And even after doing this for 20 years and writing these books,